Desi is down for his nap. We did lunch and all that kind of stuff, had some playtime. And now Liam is playing in the playroom until he goes down for a nap in just a little while here. So I'm going to put together a Pinafore, and I figured I would time-lapse sewing that together. I always think that kind of thing is really satisfying, so I hope at least some of you guys might enjoy seeing that. So these are the pieces, skirt pieces, the bib front, and then that section there is going to be the waistband and straps. So I need to cut that. Yeah, so I've done this Pinafore a few times now. I use this pattern piece for the skirt. It's from a dress that I made a while back. And I just find that it makes a really great full skirt. So I use it a little bit differently than the dress pattern did. I just use this one panel, this piece. So you cut it on the fold here, so you get a really nice full piece. And I just do 2 of those. Put them together and you get a really nice skirt. So yeah, pinafores are super easy. It's just the skirt, the bib front, the straps, and then a waistband, and you're good. So I'm gonna put that together. I'm really excited about this pattern. Like, that is just so pretty and so perfect for fall, I think. So that's what we're gonna do. Starting off, I'm just getting my thread ready to go. I'm getting my bobbin in there, making sure that's threaded, getting the rest of my thread in there. And then we are going to get started on sewing the 2 panels of the skirt together. So I am just putting them right sides together so that those seams are nice and hidden inside the skirt. And then I do something that I know is not technically correct. It's not the, textbook way to do things, but it's what I like to do. And it's my sewing room and my rules, right? So you do what works for you and I'll do what works for me. So, but you can see on these seams as I'm putting the 2 skirt panels together, I am rolling them. And there's Liam crawling in the background, cutie pie. So I'm rolling them just like you would do for a rolled hem. And I just like how, for one, easy that is, and for another, how clean it is. It's just a really neat, clean way to hide all the raw seams. Liam is cracking me up. And I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. And that's what works for me. I know that there are, different ways that I'm supposed to do that, but that's how I do it. So I just ran over to my cutting board over there. And cutting board? Wait, what? No, my ironing board. And there's Liam. This is so chaotic, I apologize. But I ran over to my ironing board to just cut a little slit in the back of the skirt. So that's what you see right there. That little V is that slit that I cut, just so that there's a little opening so that I can fit my booty through the skirt. And I'm just rolling the edges on that as well, hiding all those raw edges, sewing them away, making it nice and neat and clean, making it so that it's not going to fray. And then I'm just going along the waistband, rolling that, hiding all of those raw seams. This is obviously going really fast, so if you guys ever want me to share a more in-depth, like slowed down tutorial, just let me know. I'm just kind of getting a feel for what people are interested in, and I don't know how many of you actually would ever make this, so this is kind of just the crash course going over what I'm doing. So now we have the skirt panel sewn together, the waistband is all finished nicely, the little slit in the back where we're going to put a button is nicely finished, and now I'm just clipping the edges of the hem so that they will roll a little nicer. And I'm rolling that edge of the hem, going over that, sewing it closed, a nice clean hem, trying to make sure that I'm sewing right down the middle of that, because I heard once that if you sewed straight down the middle of your hemline, it should help keep the hem from rolling. So that's what I'm doing there. This is a nice full skirt, so it's a pretty long job having that, but thankfully everything was rolling really nicely. I'm sure any of you who have rolled your edges before know that it can be kind of a pain in the butt if it's a curved edge. So thankfully this went really well, and that's probably in part due to me clipping it. And you can see on the bottom of the screen there right now, that's the waist of the skirt that's also been rolled and finished. All looking so nice and clean and neat. No raw edges to be seen anywhere, just how we like it. So I'm just finishing the hem, And when I'm done with the hem, the skirt portion of this is going to be pretty much done. Just like that. Obviously, this took me a little while. This is going real fast for you guys, but hopefully you're getting at least a really basic idea of what I'm doing to create this skirt. And it is super simple too, because it has just the 2 panels, which is part of why I love it. And then I'm just trimming away those threads, all excited because my bobbin thread ran out literally right as I was done. This part I have sped up even a little bit more, which I'm sorry if that's annoying for some people. Let me know again. I would appreciate your feedback, and I can always do things differently in the future. But this part I'm just sewing together that bib front for the Pinafore. So it's super straightforward. I'm literally just sewing around the edges, trimming those threads, and we're going to turn it inside out, or I guess right side out. It was inside out before. And I'm going to flip in those ends and sew that closed. You can see my thread got caught a little bit there. No biggie, got it all fixed. I'm just sewing that closed, and we'll go ahead and iron that in just a minute. Now I'm going ahead and working on the straps. You'll notice I did not end up putting in a waistband. I felt like the edges were finished really nicely, and I didn't really want to add any bulk by adding a waistband since the material is already a little bit thick. So I'm not doing a waistband, I'm just going ahead and doing some straps. I just was trimming an edge off of that fabric that I should have trimmed before but forgot, so got that done. And then these 2 straps I cut nice and long, a lot longer than I'm going to need them, just so that I have extra room to work with when I'm fitting it. And this is super easy, just folding it so that the right sides are together, sewing it into a big long tube, and we will turn that right side out with a safety pin in just a moment. Just finishing the second strap here. This is part of why pinafores are so easy. It's just skirt, bib front, straps, and if you want to do a waistband, you can do a waistband. All right, so now I'm going over to my iron, and I'm gonna iron, well, flip my straps inside out, right side out. Goodness gracious, I could not say that right. I'm gonna flip them right side out using a safety pin. And then I'm going to go ahead and iron the straps and iron the bib front just so that they're nice and sharp and clean, and they will lay really nicely as I get them all put together. And I did make sure to go over and get my iron heating up in between one of these last clips that you saw, so it was ready to go. Getting that flipped. Those straps were pretty long, so it did take me a minute to get those flipped. And now the super satisfying part of getting everything nice and crisply ironed. It can be kind of a pain in the butt to iron things, but it is always so worth it, and I'm always so glad that I took the time to do it. All right, so now I'm just going ahead and getting the ends of those straps finished. So I'm just rolling them in a little bit, kind of tucking them and then rolling them in a little bit so that I can hide all of the raw edges and get those nice and neat and clean. I'm trimming away a few little stray threads and a little bit of fraying on the ends as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that on the ends of both of these straps. And then once those are finished and clean, we can go ahead and attach them to the bib front. And I'm just trimming away any loose threads as I go so that I don't have a bunch of loose threads that I have to worry about when the whole thing is put together. Just a good habit to get into, to do it as you go. And now I'm going ahead and deciding which side I want to be the front and where I want to put the straps and getting those sewn on there. Now obviously you could exercise a little bit of forethought and make it so that your straps are actually built into the bib front so that there isn't this like seam showing on the outside, which I need to be better about remembering to do that. I just tend to forget, if I'm being honest. So that is something I can improve on. So now I'm going through and I'm putting in a couple of little pleats at the front of the skirt. Now I've made this skirt enough times now that I know how to fit it to my body without really having to try it on. I did try it on just in case, but at this point I know that 2 pleats in the front tend to get that waist to the point that I need it to be. And then I'm going ahead and pinning the bib to the front of the skirt. and I'm going to go ahead and get that attached. I do those pleats just a couple of inches in, I guess towards the front from those side seams. And I just really like the way that those lay. I think it's really pretty and flattering. And there we go, just getting the bib front sewn on to the front of the skirt. Well, sewn into the back of the skirt, but you know, it'll be seen from the front, if you know what I mean. And here we go. I am getting those straps attached to the back of the skirt now. So I just ran over to my mirror and tried it on, figured out where I wanted those straps to sit, and then just threw a little pin in that spot. And I'm going ahead and getting those attached to the back of the skirt. Super simple, super easy. Clipping my threads, and we are almost done. And those extra bits of the straps that are kind of dangling there on the inside of the skirt, I'll just go through afterwards once I'm happy with their placement and trim those off, finish the ends, and then we'll be good. No idea what happened with my camera there. I apologize about that. Don't know what that was. Now I'm sitting down and doing my closing in the back. So part of why I really like this Pinafore and this way of doing things is you really only need a single button in the back. When I make it for other people, I tend to do 2 buttons just so that there's a little more wiggle room for them when it comes to sizing. But for me, I find I can fit it to my waist well enough that I really just need 1 little button in the back and I'm good to go. And so I'm just going ahead and sewing that button on there. This button was so cute. It has like a little bow like engraved on it. I should have gotten a close-up shot because it was really cute. And then I just cut my little slit for my buttonhole, and I'm going over that right now with embroidery floss, just hand embroidering around the buttonhole, which I know I can do on my machine, but if I'm being totally honest, I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And I actually really enjoy doing it by hand. There's just something kind of fun about sitting down and doing a little bit of hand sewing, and I really like the way it looks too when it's done by hand. It just looks kind of, you know, obviously homemade, but in a really nice, pleasing way to me. I really enjoy it. So yeah, we're almost done. I'm just gonna get this finished for the buttonhole, and then I think this Pinafore will be done. Yay! All right, here she is. Today's nap time creation, hanging on my dress form, Betty Draper. Hopefully at least one of you got that reference. I'm pretty proud of that name. Anyway, there we go. I'm really, really happy with it. I think it turned out really pretty. I love, love, love the fabric. And yeah, it was super easy. I think that only took, let me see, I don't remember exactly when I started, but I'm pretty sure that took under 2 hours. And the babies are still sleeping. So I'm going to go have a snack. But I can't wait to wear this new Pinafore. They're just so fun and easy to make and so pretty.